Morning. All right.
No, Adrian, I didn't see any questions today. It's been a few weeks since I,
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of March 13th, 2018.
There's nothing questions, right?
Motion. Second?
Commissioner Clicky?
yes.
Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Jim's gonna have to keep me focused, Mary. I'm
I
kind of
know.
a little scatterbrained and off.
Stay with us.
Okay, I'm going to report on a couple items I approved on your behalf. On March 15th, for the maintenance department, we had something come up with the courthouse and floor tile there that required quick response. So I approved and executed a service contract with Environmental Protection Service Systems, LLC, to perform floor tile abatement at the Geauga County Courthouse, first floor during the year 2018, the amount not to exceed $3,810. And then on March 16th, on behalf of Transit, I approved hiring Gary Barath to the position of part-time driver number 2210-1 to be effective March 26, 2018 at a rate of $13.97 per hour, a one-year probationary period. This offer of employment is contingent upon successful completion of the required pre-employment conditions. That's it.
Okay. Morning.
Morning. Okay, so today's financials, we have 3 revenue certifications, one for mental health, for their state grants and other revenue, and for the sheriff, for the law enforcement block grant, and also for soil and water for an increase in the local match revenue fund. Appropriations transfers from the commissioners, from miscellaneous operating transfers to miscellaneous other agriculture. Appropriations transfers to the sheriff for reimbursement of fees deposited into the general fund. A supplemental from mental health for their Adams Board Fund Contract Services account. Cash transfer from the commissioners to court technology for a portion of their 2018 funding. Under the encumbrances, we have travel requests from JFS to attend the Ohio Association of Child and Youth Care Professionals Annual Conference in Huron. We have a travel request from Transit for the OPTA ODOT Annual Conference in Columbus. We also have a then and now encumbrance for JFS to the Geauga Board of DD for Help Me Grow expenses from December. A contract purchase order from maintenance to Nevrid Limited DBA Ash Window for window cleaning at the county buildings and the jail. Among the vouchers, we have $22,220 from engineering to the village of Hunting Valley for survey work done along County Line Road, and also $12,189.40 from Sheriff's Office to Motorola Solutions for mobile radios for the Social Security investigator vehicles.
Just real quick, I didn't have time to look at this, but the appropriations transfer commissioners from miscellaneous operating transfers.
This was to increase soil and water's local match revenue for that transition period with the new person that we talked about previously.
Okay.
You get the new person in yet, Carol?
No, this is preparing for it.
Getting it all set up.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to get it set up ahead of time so that her match from the state would also increase at the same time
Good,
and pick up some of that cost.
Okay. Okay.
So the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 18-43, itemizing the financials for the meeting of March 20th, 2018.
Not yet, but we need to release that soon. And we've discovered that we're talking about that check that we held because of the technology equipment stuff. Did we ever resolve that?
I think we were waiting for Jim,
Yeah, we're waiting for Jim.
Okay.
whether or not that needed to
We're
be.
working on
Logic
it.
tell us.
Working on, okay.
With
Yeah.
the state bid issue, we're trying to figure out that fits within the parameters of the state.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Yep.
Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
He's actually next item.
Okay. Jim? Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, good. You going?
Okay. So, we usually come with bad news, so this is somewhat better news, although a sore subject. So there's a release in front of you that we prepared, and I've talked to Dave about this, but this is, if you look on the exhibit, is part of the issue in the auditor's office. The former IT director had paid for a number of hardware and licenses for some wireless access points with county money, and then through his private business sold them to another company who we looked into this, were very innocent. The person paid fair market value for it. It was represented to this other company, the Advanced IT Professionals. Steve had represented to him that he had these extra pieces of hardware from some other project he was doing with his private company, and this contractor ended up paying him for the wireless access points. So one of the things going through this, while there's some obviously very serious issues with kind of the services end of this scam, there really weren't a lot of issues of hardware being stolen, because there was actually a pretty good system in place with the county for the hardware purchases, fortunately. So we only found a couple of instances of hardware thefts. This instance, and then these were sold to a third party, and then there was an instance with one of the sheriff's office computers, which was recovered.
Right.
So those were the only instances of hardware thefts that we've discovered. And again, Alan have done an absolutely fantastic job of going, in addition to all their new responsibilities, they've done a lot in going through all these things. But anyway, so when we discovered that these had been sold to this third party, we approached him and told him that he had our property, and in some ways I feel a little bad for him, but we need to get our money back. So he ended up paying for these twice because he's paying us.
No kidding.
So
how far back was this?
This was a while back. They don't make these particular wireless access points anymore, so what we had to do to come up with an amount, we had Allen say, okay, what's the current fair market value of this stuff? Which is actually, probably not quite as much as it would have been back then.
Yep.
But that seemed to be the right restitution amount. So we came up with the $15,756 figure, and he's going to pay that to the county, the contractor. So yeah, unfortunately for him, now, my attitude was, and again, I do feel bad for him because I think he was an innocent purchaser, but I told him, hey, you've got to go talk to Steve to get your money back. These are ours. Who owe us the money? So I have to get the money back for the county.
Right.
Do we? This may be a silly question, and I apologize. Can we forgive him on this kind of thing? It wasn't his fault at the end of the day, and I don't know if that's even practical or whatever, but
it's not our money.
do we need the equipment back?
We don't need it back, but again, we're not a private business, so this is the people's money.
Right.
So my attitude was, hey, listen, this $15,756 belongs to the people of Geauga County.
Right.
You have the stuff, you got it. I understand that you really didn't do anything wrong in purchasing it, but
And it's in place in his business, so it'd be a disruptive to ask for the equipment back. He'd rather, because it works, leave it alone.
That was kind of our, he had he had installed it in customers' places.
But he's going to pay the $750 or whatever it is and keep it in place. And
he's paying us the $15,756. So
the 15.
15,000. Yeah, he's just paying us what these are worth right now. That's what the RIT department came up with as a value. So.
He could probably make a claim on his insurance, I would bet.
Just in point.
Yeah, I'm hoping he can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's a big company. I think he's kind of a one-man show
Right,
type
right.
of thing. A lot of these places
So
are.
this dates back how far then again? Is it 15? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
There was a date in there we had it on or about
Okay.
when we. Yeah, it was October of 2015.
Okay.
So then we trace down all the serial numbers
Okay.
for the different devices. So
All right.
Oh
yeah.
it's unfortunate, but we're getting some of the money back.
Good.
You know,
Okay.
it's unfortunate when these things happen, you get these unintended consequences,
Right.
you know,
So
people that even touch it.
I guess uncovering these type of things. Not that I want to know how you do it, but if you've been, as you're digging, if you, do you think that we've scoured this enough that we're finding all the, the crimes that happened and.
I feel very comfortable. I mean, I looked at the universe of, things that occurred with Steve. I know that, the special prosecutors looked at the auditor's office
Mhm.
and all of the purchasing that's gone on and the funds associated with the ADP, which is
Mhm.
under the auditor's control and supervision. So the issue with that is, he's looked at all that, he's gone through all those items,
Mhm.
we've gone through all of these items. I feel like we have a very good accounting, I mean, you've seen the bill for the forensic accountant.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
We've literally traced every dollar, every bank account.
Okay.
It's the most,
Huge.
not to pat myself on the back, and it's not just me that did it, but
Right.
it is the most thorough investigation that
I mean, it's
been involved in.
8 years worth of.
Yeah, 9 years.
Or
Yeah,
9
9 years
yeah,
worth
yeah.
of
History. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bank records alone would cover this table, and
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
wouldn't be able to see it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, literally.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible. So I feel like
appreciate
we've
that.
got a good accounting.
Yeah.
And again, there wasn't a lot of hardware issues. This was the only unrecovered hardware, and we're being reimbursed for it, which I think is a good thing.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
The prosecutor's office is requesting the board approve and execute the release between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Stephen Bull Advanced IT Professionals LLC in connection with 25 Meraki wireless access points.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
He's waiting for one day, he's gonna notarize
What are you gonna do with all your time when this is all over?
Hopefully, spring break or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Just when you think one thing's over, something else starts, though. So
Oh, yeah.
it's never really.
That's right.
Fortunately, we don't have a mall in the county. I don't
Shit.
deal
Yeah,
with stuff
there's
like
that.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
The place is getting rough part of the neighborhood there.
Shit.
Yeah, but Texas has got a serial problem, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
can be dealing with
balls,
that.
I don't think it matters when they're doing.
You talk about things just off topic a little bit, like signing these, but incidents like that, they really are budget busters. When you look at from your standpoint, you know what I mean? I mean, we have something like that. I mean,
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
overtime and the resources and the
No doubt.
that you end up paying out. Or even a death. If we had a death penalty case, I talk to these little counties like ours.
Oh, it could just drain.
Yeah, I
you.
mean, you're
Yeah.
talking. I'm coming to you guys saying, "Hey, I need $1 million."
Right.
Right off the bat. So
I guess the
it's
question
tough.
is, do our insurance, I'm not a big fan of being overly insured, but, in cases like this, it'd be nice, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm working with the insurance carrier right now, so
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that we'll have very good news on that front
Yeah.
in the near future. But
yeah,
they also, like any insurance policy, they're not anxious to
That's
cut us a
right.
giant check.
that's right. So did
So
they do
that's
their,
something to do.
did they do their own investigation, the insurance companies then, or?
They are what's nice. You're kind of getting triple value on the forensic accountant
Mhm.
because I'm using him for my case. The special prosecutor's using him for his case, and then I've also instructed him to cooperate with the insurance
I
carrier
see.
and provide all of that.
So they're seeing this information
Exactly.
live, yeah.
because normally that would be a big component of this would be getting the insurance company,
I-
getting them all the information,
Right.
and so. Oh yeah, you can just exit this out.
Well, and you and I talked the other day, he's also taking a look at all the
Usually right
internal
absent
controls.
Well,
And so we're also getting the
On the
value that we're all
Yeah.
looking at where the weaknesses are in the system, so.
Yeah, and that's not my part of the investigation, but I think that was one of, just looking at the billing, that seems to be what the
What
special
he was
prosecutor
looking at, yeah.
tasked the forensic accountant to do, so.
You know, because that came up with the meeting with the state auditor. You know, we were questioning when we have our audits done here, what exactly are they looking for? Well, they're not looking for stuff like that. They're not looking for,
Well, they're saying
Yeah.
they're not really responsible for fraud.
That's right.
They're just saying they're making sure the financial statements accurately reflect.
like the money that came
what
in
went
was
on.
paid
Yeah,
out to,
yeah.
so, you know, but they're not looking for, you know,
Yeah.
not, you know, how much was stolen or, you know.
But it
how
was
was
accurately
stolen.
recorded.
Yeah, right, it's
Yes.
accurately recorded, yeah.
Well,
But-
in the private industry, you do a SOX audit. I mean, the
That's what I was
auditors
gonna
actually
suggest.
do a
Right.
controls kind of an audit. And our auditor from the state, we pay them a lot of money, and we're not getting that kind of
But
audit.
maybe that's
so-
something, you know, or at least that's what we were told, is that's something internal that we have to address if we want that, you
Whose
know.
job is expressly to do that.
Listen, I think that, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of internal, not major issues. I deal with this all the time,
Mhm.
to digress a little bit. I deal with this all the time, with private companies, with our county, unfortunately. There's a lot of employee theft out there. A lot
Mhm.
of it is unreported.
Mhm.
And, you know, if you have a bad person in a key position, they're going to find ways to take advantage of
Mhm.
whatever, almost whatever system you put in place. So
Mhm.
that's a frustrating part, I think, in a lot of, but the bad cases I've seen in private business are the ones with little or no internal controls, or you have one person who's really in charge of all of the controls for a certain aspect
That's
of
right.
the operation. So, you know, hiring an auditing firm to come in and look at, I mean, Transit several years ago, I mean, they had some very bad internal controls.
Mhm.
And, you know, obviously, we're dealing with this situation now. We don't really have anybody go around and say,
Mhm.
you know, even in a small operation, how do you handle cash? Where does it go? How is it recorded? Who counts it?
Right. Some of the,
You know, what
some,
redundancies do you have?
some of the basics that, you know, caught me by surprise as a small business owner in dealing with customers for years and years that trust me. I know their kids, they know my kids, they send me millions of dollars every year, but every year around tax time, I get a packet from them filling out a W-9, you know, who's the principal, physical address, tax ID number, you know, so there's just some basic business practices that, you know, vendor verification type steps that I don't think, you know, when I see a P.O. box, sending a check to a P.O. box, that's a red flag to me. I stop what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not sending a check to a P.O. box until I know, you know, who that is. So just some little things like that. But like you said, if the people you have in place, especially in the key positions, are going to try and not be trustworthy, that's tough to beat. You know, at the end of the day, the buck stops with somebody, you know, and who's got the keys.
No, it's
Yeah.
true, but even the Chardon incident, I mean, that was bad. It was in the news. I mean, that was, again, you had one person doing that job, and you had one person completely control of a certain aspect of the money
Mhm.
coming in and
That's
coming
right.
out. And that's how they were taken for so much. So,
Well, I think it's fortunate, you know, we have potentially a new auditor coming in here with a breath of fresh air and is willing and open to some change. And I think they're going to need that. And I believe the office there is, it can't come fast enough. So,
but if you were to look into hiring, you know, an outside auditing company,
Mhm.
which could get expensive, but at least to kind of just perform an internal controls, especially the places that take in cash.
That's right.
Or, you know, do you have a procurement policy, you know, in your specific department?
yeah,
Do you have this? Do you have that?
that's money well spent
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
just sending it to an insurance company. I mean, there's real insurance, you know, that's, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the interesting thing is, this was actually kind of a whistleblower situation. And so we do have some mechanisms. We have good people, honest people who see things, they stand up and they say something. Oftentimes, that's part of the equation, even in the private industry. And I just reached out to the state auditor the other day to ask about, you know, various audit options. Can we hire you to come in and do a performance audit? Would it be our position as commissioners to do that? I mean, how would that work and so forth? And we had a good conversation. It's not something they currently do, but it's something they're talking about.
Mhm.
Who knows, maybe this would lead to, some improvements in how the auditor operates too, so. But, yeah, it causes us all to step back and revisit what we ought to be doing and improving, so. We appreciate all the work you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Thank you.
You're doing
Thanks
an
for your
admirable
support.
job over there. We're keeping you busy, and so,
well,
unfortunately, so.
These financial cases aren't fun. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
And
Jim.
thanks for taking care of this. And
Yep.
I'm going to get the check this afternoon.
Okay,
I'll just bring it here.
Okay,
You can
yeah.
process it.
Yep.
And then once it clears, I'll give the lawyer the release, but I want to wait till it clears, so.
Okay.
I don't know, I checked with you as the treasurer on that, or?
well, it's going to be deposited to the treasurer. Once they have possession of it, then we know we have the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Okay, Carmella? Good morning.
Starting to come into your busy season, all the mud's flowing and
Construction.
all the
going.
construction going on.
It's a mess. That's one thing good about being frozen.
Yeah.
It's the only thing good
Yeah,
about being
right.
frozen.
Good morning.
Good. Do you talk first or I do talk first? Okay.
All you.
You've got the contract, right? Okay. This is the contract with Ohio Department of Agriculture for the 2018 local agricultural easement purchase program. This is the second year we've done it. First year, we do have one farm going through. We just finished all the title work, so we're getting close to wrapping that all up. For this 2018 year, we do have two applications that will be presented. One is in Russell and one is in Troy Township.
Mm.
The Troy one is 76 acres and the Russell one is 20 acres.
We're gonna put a big sign up there, like I see yours.
If only if they want it. How's that? Last year, the amount that we were granted to just dispense or offer to anyone that was interested was $160,000
Right.
because of our experience and they like us. I don't know how they determine that, but this year it's 211. We will not be using all of that this year. Either.
Okay.
So what they do is they roll it back into the pot with everybody else in the rest of the counties who do have it. Unfortunately, but we use what we can.
So how would you grade last year?
I think it went pretty well. It was our first year with this new system,
Mhm.
and it was a little learning curve, making
Mhm.
sure you get all the paperwork. I mean, there's a lot of hoops to go through, just like anything dealing with the state and all the things they want. I mean, they even had two contracts we had to sign because I had to redo it because the year changed. I don't know, something
Right.
had to happen. So, I mean, I've got a hang of it, a few things, and we did get a lot more response this year, more people interested. A few couldn't make the turnaround quick enough. Another one was so small it wasn't applicable, and another one, I came up with kind of a spreadsheet, because they want, if you get ranked, if the points come out over 60 points, you can actually get some of the, you only can get so much money, a maximum of 2,000 per acre, and then you have to have a 25% match, and then
I see.
it reduces what your per acre value or you get paid for. But if you get over 60 points, you can start putting 2% back onto it.
Mm.
Well, none of our applications usually get over 60. And when the program was in its inception years ago, it was competitive statewide. Well, that was one of the reasons we could never compete statewide, because our proximity to urbanization, and there was like so many little pieces of the puzzle that we just didn't fare very well. Well, now that we're guaranteed money, the ranking doesn't matter unless we get so many applications in Geauga County.
Okay.
Well, we did have an application, or someone that was interested this time and wanted to get their money up, so I came up with a spreadsheet that there are certain things I can go through without having to do all the legwork.
I see.
You know, some things where if you can't get these points, you're
You're-
below 60
yeah,
anyway,
so
so
it's not-
let them at least know that.
Yeah, right.
And like the people we did too, that we do have interested, one particular, and I said, if at any point in this process, you know, something doesn't look good, you see a reflag, you know, that's
Mhm.
fine, just let me know, we'll pull the plug. So it's no pressure, it's, if you wanna do this, I'm not pressuring you to do this, it's what you wanna do.
Okay.
So I emphasize it over and over, it's strictly what the resident wants to do, if that's something they wanna do for their property. And the one in Troy was very interested in, he knows he could probably make more selling it, but he said, I don't want it split into millions of little pieces,
Mhm,
so.
mhm. Okay,
That's what we got.
Okay.
very good. Want to read that?
The Soil and Water Conservation District is requesting the board approve and authorize the vice president of the board to execute the 2018 local agricultural easement purchase program cooperative agreement between the Ohio Department of Agriculture and the Geauga Board of County Commissioners, local sponsor regarding funding to be allocated for the protection of Ohio farmlands against conversion to non-agricultural use in the amount of $211,195 for the acquisition of agricultural easements approved by the Ohio Department of Agriculture.
Second?
Commissioner Claypool?
Yeah,
Commissioner Warren?
yes.
I was waiting for that.
Thank you so
Pause.
much for all your work.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I gave you a little bit of
Okay.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good, good.
We just need to make a little amendment to our legal services agreement that we have regarding the name of the firm. It was under Schraff and King. Now it will be known as Schraff and Thomas. So we just had to make that amendment.
Okay.
The Department on Aging is requesting the board approve and execute the amendment to legal services agreement executed January 23rd, 2018, modifying the agreement to change the name of the firm affiliation for the attorney Patricia J. Schraff Esquire to the firm known as Schraff Thomas LLC to be effective April 1st, 2018, with all terms and conditions of the agreement remaining in full force and effect.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Jessica, before you go,
Yes.
pickleball.
Yes.
Is there any interest in the Department on Aging for pickleball?
We do it. We host it. You want to call our West G Senior Center, and we utilize the gym at Metzenbaum. So we do already have that program.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to you about that. I'm joined a couple of leagues and I'm kind of getting into it, so.
Well, you're probably going to want to talk to Sandy since she does all the recreation. I'd give her a call. Yeah, boxing
Yeah.
Sandy.
Skip's moving up the national rankings quickly.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
In
old
the-
people.
In the over 70. Yeah.
Yeah, Metzenbaum
come
is
All right, Jim.
So West G, we utilize Metzenbaum's gym. So they're gracious enough to let us use their space. So yeah, come join us.
Well, there may be a new, so I'm putting one in our church.
Okay.
Court. Did you see on the news where this guy, 100 years old, just got his 18th record for running?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
They
Yeah,
have a group, sorry for taking this off. But there's hope for you.
Competition was
Right?
98 years old.
So,
Yeah.
they have a
I
category.
saw it on TV, they were running.
100 to 105-year-olds.
I saw those guys, yeah.
This
Yeah.
is crazy. So there's hope for us.
Yeah, but give
They're in
Sandy
good
a-
shape, too. Really good shape. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give Sandy a call, and if there's something else, we can always have it at a different location as well.
I'm taking them prisoners, I just gotta say that. So.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
just-
good deal.
See, Abe
Oh,
is
wait,
retired.
who is this guy? Did we hire a new guy?
That's his son, that's Glenn's kid. Yeah.
Couldn't take it anymore.
I
I saw him
bet.
in the morning, he still had it, and he comes back later in the afternoon, I went, whoa.
I couldn't do
Got
it
in that
for,
black hat and everything, and it's not gonna fit now.
after 2 days, I gotta shave it. Yeah.
6 and 7 is for carpet cleaning around the county. We got number 6. For both of them, we got 3 quotes back. They're gonna be approximately $10,898 a year. So we just bumped it up just in case we have any other emergency. That way we're
This
covered.
is 7.
Number 7 comes down to about, we put it at 5,000. That's just for the safety center, the administrative billboard side. So, and this is for a 2-year contract.
2 years.
Glenn has an old agenda, just so you know, so you're not confused by the numbers that he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Right up here, Glenn, there's a.
So you're gonna put something in place, gonna track
Yeah.
dollars
Yeah.
on this, how we compare to the old system and all that, right?
The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Pelcon Group Incorporated doing business as Elliott's Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning to perform carpet cleaning services for Geauga County buildings for a 2-year period in amount not to exceed $25,000. The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Pelcon Group Incorporated doing business as Elliott's Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning to perform carpet cleaning services for the Geauga County Safety Center for a 2-year period in amount not to exceed $5,000.
Second,
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner Warren?
yes.
The next three is the lawn mowing contracts that we have for the 3 different areas. We've gotten quotes back, these are the cheapest and best. The first one's for the down south. We picked up 2 areas working with departments. We have that charge with the dog warden and transit. So that one went up just a little bit. And that comes out to about $5,000, $868, or $11,668 for 2 years. We always jump it up a little bit in case we gotta have some yard work or something done, where we have a landscaping company in place. The next one's for the courthouse and East Park, and right behind the annex, we have a real small spot right by the road that needs to be cut.
Let me ask you, is that technically our responsibility there?
The courthouse?
Mm-hmm. The cutting the grass there?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
It's one of those things, we've been doing it for the last 100 years.
Okay.
And who owns it, I don't.
We don't.
We don't own it, so.
We're just
that's
being nice
something-
guys and cutting it because our court's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one's for the safety center. So, that one for a year is $4,000, $718, or $9,509 for 2 years.
How much ground did we cut there?
Right offhand, we cut it all, basically, all of that. So the front area, we cut every 2 weeks. So, and then around.
So it's
the building.
$2,000 a year.
Yeah.
Sounded a little stiff to me, but I don't know how many
The
acres
post
we've
2
got,
is
so-
also in that one as
Yes.
well.
What's that?
Post 2.
Oh, post was in there.
Yes.
Nope.
Got it. The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance services at the Department of Emergency Services, Pleasant Hill County Home, Department on Aging, Ravenwood, Veterans Memorial, Pleasant Hill Cemetery, Dog Warden, and Geauga Transit Buildings for a 2-year period in an amount not to exceed $18,000. The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance services at the Geauga County Courthouse, 208 East Park parking lot, and 470 Center Street for a 2-year period in an amount not to exceed $12,000. The maintenance department is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with Fiore's Group LLC to perform lawn maintenance services at the Geauga County Safety Center and Sheriff's Post Number 2 for a 2-year period in an amount not to exceed $12,000.
Second,
Commissioner Claypool? Commissioner Warren?
yes. Thanks, Gun.
No, have a good day.
Yes, sir. Okay. Transit.
Yep.
Looking good.
Okay, number 12, is basically the request of the County Alcoholic Drug Consortium. A recent audit by ODOT found that the county book is not really 100% in compliance with what ODOT specific likes for some drivers. So they revised the book at my request to make it compliant with federal regulations. So the consortium, obviously, we don't want to adopt this book for the entire county because it has little vignettes for just transit. And so consortium asks really that transit has to just make ours stay in the consortium or the separate drug and alcohol consortium.
So this is an amendment to the agreement the county has anyway, right? Is that what you're saying? Or,
No, not really. It's just, I'm not sure what agreement the county has with.
Just
You're
tweaking the
just
policy.
revising the policy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just revising the
Just
policy,
improving the
yeah.
policy.
okay, okay.
Last thing we need is some drivers driving around with drugs or alcohol and driving the old folks, right?
Yeah, it's very, and most of it's wording changes.
Mm-hmm.
specifically to drug and alcohol amounts and responses from the vendor that does the testing.
Mhm.
They also make them, half the audit was actually at UH, and making them jump through the hoops. And UH did it, so to their credit.
How often do we test folks?
Randomly, we have pre-employment, and then we have random, and then reasonable suspicion. Unreasonable suspicion has never been done there, as far as I know. It hasn't been done under my watch.
Well, after an accident,
Depending on the type of accident, the severity, and the extenuating circumstance with it, yes.
Mhm.
We've had one of those so far.
we just had an accident not too long ago, right?
Yeah, we did. That would not be,
Okay.
the criteria would not lend that to be
Okay.
post-accident testing. So, otherwise, we randomly test, and we get that from county, Kathy. She uses a randomizer, and the consortium gets sent out, and we follow that procedure.
Okay.
And we randomly test anywhere between 2 and 3 a quarter to up to 10.
Okay.
And it's random drug and alcohol or just drug.
Okay.
So,
All right, you want to read that?
The Transit Department is requesting the board accept and approve the revised Geauga County Drug and Alcohol Consortium Substance Abuse Policy and Procedural Manual specific to Geauga County Transit to be effective March 20th, 2018.
Second?
Commissioner Clickwell?
Yep.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. No signature there? No. Okay, 13.
okay, this was in regards to our new HVAC that decided to die on us, the old one, and the pretty cold weather we had. So I, besides asking for some backup from our stipend, here, we got some of that in place to make sure we can pay for it locally for the vendor. I asked ODOT to put that under a special, they have a fund, an emergency fund in case transit companies need something quickly. And I called and explained to them that we, under capitalized maintenance, that I'd like to put the cost of this replacement for the units as a contract with them, as a project. There's only has to be a project for replacement. And they did it quickly in a couple of weeks, so that this allows us to get the reimbursement of the funds, or 90% of the funds, just $12,900.
Okay. All right.
The Transit Department is requesting the board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the State of Ohio General Revenue Fund grant contract between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and the State of Ohio Department of Transportation for the purchase of a new HVAC system in the amount of $12,900.
Second?
Commissioner Clickwell?
Yep.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes. All right, 14. And can we read these together, or are these all separate?
Well, these are all
Separate, okay, yeah.
80 hours unpaid leave for myself, again, I ask for that every quarter. And believe it or not, last quarter, I actually did use some of it, but not for the reason I thought I'd use it for. I had to resettle my son in North Carolina, within a 10-day period. So, he's going to be coaching at Duke University.
Wow, good for him. Going for his master's at the same
He's going to
time.
get his graduate's degree there also. So,
Pretty nice.
it was an opportunity really could not pass up.
Mhm.
They called him, they said they wanted to come down, and to be honest with you, they give you a nice little stipend on top of it. You get to coach, and then your bachelor's degree your graduate degree is paid for.
Nice.
So, I can't really pass it up.
Okay.
Although yesterday we got a call from the University of Tennessee, so we'll see about that.
Now you have a nice place to go when you get frigid up here.
Well, not to belabor it, but we went down that's why I had to take off last week. I used up all my vacation hours, and I used about 10 of the unpaid hours. We're about to get my 10 for this quarter. We went down on Monday, the apartment hunted on Tuesday, signed an agreement on Wednesday. Mrs. Casper probably blew right through my entire account. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, furnishing this 2-bedroom apartment.
Nice.
So that's how quickly we have to do it.
Okay.
And he actually started Sunday evening. So it's for spring ball.
That's great.
Knock on wood.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's good for him.
All right.
So I'm
15.
gonna assume that I'm probably gonna
Sorry.
more things have to do some unpaid time. And again, I'll reiterate, I always do the unpaid time, there's no question of any coverage of benefits while I'm off there. I do not use the county benefits, so the only
Right.
thing that's missing is I just do not get paid. So,
Okay, very good.
The transit department is requesting the board approve up to 80 hours of unpaid leave for Director Michael Casper during the period April 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2018.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Claypool?
Yes.
Commissioner Levin?
yes. Okay, 15?
we had a full-time guy decide to retire. He's about, Michael Walsh, he's about 60 and a half years old. He was gonna work till 62. However, he decided to retire now. He says, I'm tired of working, done with it. So he's retiring, so.
Okay,
And that, of course, goes with number 16, which is also, with that, I have 3 full-time positions open right now. So I'd like to advertise for 2 of them. The reason we would not fulfill 3 and we've had some openings because of the prohibitive cost of the benefits for a full-time person. Full-time person for us costs us, as you probably won't know, right around $14,700, almost $15,000.
mm-hmm,
So if I can try to provide the service with part-timers instead of full-timers, but we'll get to the point now where I have to actually put some full-timers on.
okay, great.
So if you guys know anybody that's did a good full-time job, 13, whatever it is, 94 an hour, and of course, another benefits package, please have them apply, because we need them. So,
Good night, Brian.
yes, we were glad, well, we got to interview first. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have to drive something to?
Yes, you do. And you gotta have a good thumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
great.
Together?
Yes, read together, please.
The transit department is requesting the board accept the retirement resignation of Michael Walsh, full-time driver, to be effective March 31st, 2018. The transit department is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for 2 positions of full-time driver number 2210. These positions will remain posted until filled.
Second,
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Levin?
yes.
and of course, last but not least, it's not on here, we were going to have a retirement announcement today, however, that has been put on hold.
Yeah.
So Jack Jackson is going to be retiring in about a month. However, for personal reasons, he has decided to stay on for some more time. So if you have been reviewed the succession plan, that's going to change, obviously. So we have some shifting of responsibilities. They're still in anticipation of retirement. I would say at least it'll be there another year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's a good thing. I like Jeff.
Yeah.
Got a lot of knowledge.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. Yep.
Pickleball is there, Thursday.
Manner?
No.
I don't like to leave the county. I like to keep all my money in the county.
Somebody's be afraid, we don't teach
Although I could come up and take that minute money by playing.
There you go, yeah.
We put money on the game, so.
How you doing, Mark?
Good.
Good morning.
For you.
Very good.
Good morning.
Okay,
So, this is for, we are requesting the board approve and execute the final easement plat for Canyon Lakes Colony subdivision. This is in regards to the Bainbridge Trunk relocation project we have going on right now.
right.
So this will just finalize that plat.
I think it's just this section.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute the final easement plat for Cambridge County subdivision in regards to the Bainbridge Trunk relocation project.
So,
second.
Commissioner Claypool?
yep.
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
I think we need to get a bigger paintbrush on that.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
great, thank you. Okay, number 18, Commissioner's Office.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Cut it. Bad, like 8 stitches.
Chopping corned beef,
It was just hanging on.
I'm so sorry I asked.
making corned beef sandwiches.
Never mind.
Yeah, maybe you make corned beef. I love corned beef.
Must not be Irish enough.
I'm here before you today for our annual advertising for summer help. This is about the time we need to get out there. Kids get lined up pretty early, so
Right.
That's what this is, number 18 is from.
So last year, we raised the price a little bit, and
Was it
the
last
hourly
year or the year
rate.
before?
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we're still doing it, but, that's comparable to entry level at burger flipping places.
Right, right. I mean, it was pretty low, if I remember. It was real low.
And we're
Yeah.
still hanging out waiting on Margot to see if we're gonna be able to have some kids through the summer program that they do.
Mhm.
'Cause then we don't have to pay them,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, that program's going through some revisions by.
Oh, it's like
state.
every
State
year they
changes,
redo
yeah.
it.
Oh.
So, we're waiting on her to see what it's gonna look like this year, but Glenn has said that either way, he wants to hire some summer people, so.
Do you know typically how many we hire? Is it a lot or no?
For
10?
this program, maybe 3 to 5.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
then the other program, it's all over the map. I mean, Karen has had, what does she say, 4 or 5?
Okay.
And then Jessica will have several as well, but a lot depends on the funding for the program and how it works.
I see.
It's such a good thing to do.
It
Mhm.
is.
For kids to learn, get that work experience early, and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
you know, they start getting taxes taken out of their paycheck. They start appreciating the.
That first job that they're so
Yeah.
shocked.
Say, "Oh my
Where's
God."
all my
Yeah,
money?
something's wrong here. Something's wrong.
Ask Uncle Sam, honey.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad got me my first job. He said, "You're working." I said, "I didn't know I wanted to work." And then I saw the first paycheck. I said, "Who the heck is this FICA?" I don't want to support FICA
Yeah.
or this other.
Medicaid care and, yeah.
That's kind of a wake-up experience.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board grant permission to advertise for summer help number 0101 for the approximate period of May 1st, 2018, or the end of school year, through September 30th, 2018, or the beginning of the school year, for a maximum of 21 weeks, 840 hours at the rate of $10 per hour first year, $10.25 per hour second year, and $10.50 per hour third and subsequent years. These positions remain posted until filled.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Mr. Lennon?
Yes. Okay. Last but not least. No.
We got a couple
Oh, no,
more.
19 and 20.
We got a couple
Okay.
more.
19.
This is the issue where the transit bus backed into this guy's truck.
Okay. So,
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the release of all claims with Sam Landscaping Incorporated in the amount of $3,215.61.
second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Mine.
20?
That was mine.
Okay.
That was yours, okay.
That was mine. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the Vice President of the Board to execute the 2018 Great Geauga County Fair contract for the period August 30th, 2018 through September 3rd, 2018. Yes, we have to sign a contract to use our own building during the fair.
I was just going to say, why
For
are
the
we doing a
promotion of Geauga
contract?
County.
We've always done that. We've always done this. That's a great reason, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. We are the leasing of our own building.
Okay.
We haven't talked to our prosecutor about that.
I know, I think it's, we still have to provide an insurance certificate and,
And we spent over $50,000 building, by the way.
It's always good to follow your own rules that you put in place for others.
So do I have a motion?
So moved. I always look forward to the
Second.
fair. This is kind of cool. It's like the starting of the whole sequence, yeah?
It is. Commissioner Claypool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do we sign this? Is this? Oh, this
You
is.
don't.
This is
Oh, I'm
only
sorry.
Tim's thing.
Sorry.
So that's all right. I have to have it back by the end of March and so.
Okay, then the other thing I wanted to bring the board's attention for the consideration. We had a conversation last week, in executive session, all the directors that talked about salary adjustment. The commissioners authorized everyone's salary budget going up 3%. That wasn't a guarantee of any particular increase anyone would get. So, this applies to your hiring authority, so there's 3% more in the budget for the calendar year as opposed to last year. And we talked about various approaches, and it was suggested that we would do a shift of the current pay tables. We'd simply increase the pay tables all by 2% and then reserve the other 1% in the budget for some sort of incentive compensation to be determined at a later date based on evaluations and whatnot, to start kind of getting the employees the idea, this is not a guaranteed benefit that your pay is going to go up by 8% every year, but because this is kind of a new thing, and I think the compromise was, we'll shift the pay table, because part of that is to keep the entry-level pay somewhat competitive with general prevailing market, but that will start to transition toward basic compensation, more evaluated performance or a bonus or whatever you guys want to do.
To say it in a different way, we're kind of taking a look at the salary structure to see if there's not some modification we might want to make to improve it. And so we're going to be working through that throughout the year, but in the short run, we'll take care of it the short term this way. So.
Yeah, and I just to add to that, and I know we've already discussed it, but if there are positions that have been, an issue is, low, we've talked to the directors to bring those to us. Let's look at those, lay out a case for why they should be raised or lowered or whatever so be, but I'm not a believer that we're adjusting those salary scales with raises and trying to keep up year in and year out. I mean, that's just a rat race year in and year out.
Yeah.
So, if there's something that's glaringly low, which I've seen a few that are embarrassing, to be honest, that probably need to be brought up.
Yeah. I mean, we've been Linda and I have been studying this for years, and I think we can say with confidence that the general pay compensation level for the average county worker is, if anything, somewhat low compared to a lot of surrounding areas. So we feel very confident saying, in general, people are not overpaid. That being said, there's probably a few people that are completely well paid. There may be a few people that might be considered overpaid. But then there's the case where there's individual positions, and we really want to talk about positions, not people. When you
That's
talk
right.
about pay scale, where there are positions where you look at what the job entails, and you look at what other people are paying for that specialty, and where you might say, okay, let's take the most egregious case and let's fix those. Because that's where you'll generally see the turnovers in a specific case, like water resources a number of years ago. Commissioners made an adjustment on their technical pay scale because we had a lot of turnover. And that was adjusted. And that's kind of where we put it back on the directors. Hey, make the case for specific positions. We're not going to just give the, throw away the, common sense and start raising everybody's raise.
That's right.
Or rate just for the sake of raising the rate. We're out looking at individual cases and say, where does it make sense based on actual analysis of the job?
Okay.
Are we doing a motion or something?
Yeah, she's got an action for adjustment.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board adjust the wage scales and compensation of non-bargaining unit employees under the hiring authority of the Board of Geauga County Commissioners, with the exception of the Department of Job and Family Services, effective with 2018 payroll number 7 by an increase of 2%, rounding the adjusted hourly rate to the nearest penny. Postings for current job openings will be revised to reflect this change.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Claypool?
Yep.
Commissioner Lemon?
Yes.
And thank you, gentlemen, for that.
Yep.
You hope the employees appreciate the fact that it's, you guys are hearing from people out in the real world all the time saying, hey, I can't afford to give my employees a raise.
Well,
and that's part of what you
I think the thing is
contested.
when somebody asks you, why did you give raises across the board for everybody? I need to have some type of explanation to give back, not just because the calendar year changed, And I get it, putting in your time, that's a part of the pie, and that's, dedication, 5, 10, 15-year increments, acknowledging those and compensating for being loyal employees, but that's not the whole pie.
No.
There's other pieces, performance-based and, character, there's all types of things that need to be looked at for compensation purposes and raises, I think. I mean, that's reality, I think.
It is. I'm proud of how the county has handled compensation, although clearly there's some people I feel are underpaid, and I'd like us to figure out a way to do more, but you have to do it in the budget. And the one thing this board has always done is they look at the overall pay rate and they keep it all within a general inflationary level, whereas you have other entities they're giving a COLA, cost of living adjustment, and then they're giving step increases.
Right.
So their payrolls are running like twice the rate of inflation.
That's right.
And then after a while they run out of money and they don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty clear why. not being financially responsible. And
That's right.
this board always has been.
That's right. Okay, any acknowledgements, meetings?
I've got an awareness thing. I'm going out to Parkland tonight to meet with the Parkland trustees. They've got an issue, some Amish folks reached out to me. They've got a safety issue out on Newcomb Road, Nash Road in that area. Accidents, the roads are falling apart. Parkland's strapped cash-wise to be able to take it. So we're going to have a conversation tonight. Joe Patel's going to be there. ODOT has contributed. I'm going to be there. Parkland guys are going to be there, and we're going to be talking about that, the whole area and what we might do to pull together to improve that situation out there. I don't know if you use Newcomb Road or not, but when Newcomb Road's a dirt road, gravel road, when it's in good shape, you get a lot of people who use that as a bypass, and they just fly down that road. And it's not really very safe. The Amish communities, they just had to put a horse down because they had a broken leg because of the condition of the road and so forth. So, county commissioners don't really do roads, but we can certainly engage folks in a conversation about get all the players together, and that's one of the reasons for the meeting tonight. So, and we do have the safety fund that we potentially could dip into if we could figure out how to get ODOT to cooperate with us. So, anyway, I'm just bringing that for awareness in case you hear it. So.
Okay.
You guys were at Solid Waste on Monday. Greg contacted me, and we have to set up a meeting so that you guys can go over your interviews for your hire.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, yesterday we interviewed about 6 individuals as assistant director. So then what? We'll make a recommendation to the board? Is the 3 interview? Is that how that will work?
Did he set up a board meeting?
That's what we have to do. Is we have to
Yeah,
set up
the
a board
board- the
meeting. So
board-
we need to know what is there a better day for the 2 of you guys to go
Well,
down?
Monday's fine with me. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. We need a quorum so that we can actually go through the process of hiring somebody.
Right.
I mean, our committee got together, we did the interview process, we found 3 good candidates, and I think we've come to a conclusion on who the best candidate was.
So
We just need to bring that to the board and then bring that to a conclusion so we can bring that along.
So
in the
next,
Risk Management District.
the 26th, would that be okay?
You have board of revision.
Oh, no, that don't work.
That's at 9 o'clock. What time did he want to have the meeting?
We have to set it up.
Because
He
the
was
board of
asking-
revision meeting might take, what, a couple of hours? And then
It could, yeah. I don't know if this is a big one or not.
So,
Yeah, I don't know
because we
what
could
it is.
theoretically move it to the afternoon, the board meeting. It's not going to take long. We're going to get together, talk about the interviewees, and then vote to approve probably somebody, I'm
Mhm.
guessing, and then that's it.
Unless you wanted to do it on Tuesday afternoon after your regular commissioners meeting.
If we can get them
morning,
here,
and
you're
then
talking about?
see if
Maybe
they'll-
Monday afternoon, that would probably work. If you can try that.
Okay. I'll see if
Yeah, we can
they're
move that
over
proposal.
here.
I'm kind of excited about getting the waste management site here in Geauga County. That proposal's on the table. We've got 2 options, and we just need to get the bodies in there to help move that forward. I'm excited about getting it to happen, so.
Okay, I will get with Greg and we'll figure it out.
All right.
Anything else? Motion?
So move to adjourn.
Adjourn.
9:59.
Good job.
9 minutes.
You sit in that seat nicely. And Ralph was, the sun was too bright, he couldn't leave.
You talking about Newcomb Road?